we're talking about how to get kids to listen the first time. Like, hey, we're going to be late. Can you grab your shoes and head out the door? And they actually just toe the line. They grab their shoes and they head out the door with you. I think it would be amazing if every single parent could learn this and we could just live our lives without stress and frustration, and your kids and you could get along and work together as a team. Okay, what we're going to be a little bit different tonight because Thomas and I created a skit. You know, we're always telling you how to show your kids life skills rather than just tell them. So we wrote out a little script here, and we are going to act out a mother talking with her daughter. We actually copied this script from a television show. And while we're talking about that, television shows, television programs our minds on how to parent. And so I thought this was really relevant tonight to be able to bring you a script from a show that I know a lot of people like and watch. So a lot of people are watching this parenting happen. And, you know, when we hear things over and over, we tend to adapt them as habits. Right? So if you don't know us yet, we are Bonnie and Tom Leota, and we have a combined experience of nearly 50 years with practical application of leading and guiding, and I want to say human beings, because Thomas worked with kids in his martial arts school, after school program, all day summer camps, and licensed daycare for almost 15 years. And that, anyways, we're going on now almost 25 years of him working with kids, but that went on for almost 15 years. And me, myself, I learned leadership or began studying leadership at the age of 22. And by the time I was 36 years old, I was top 10 in the world. I was at the top of my game in business. They were putting my picture in national magazines and everything. And I had worked really hard to give my kids a great life. That was my driving force. But at home, my kids weren't personally developed at all. They were lacking any kind of control over their emotions. They were very entitled. They were ungrateful, being diagnosed with ADHD, ODD, anxiety, and depression. And I was at a complete loss for what to do because I had talked to the counselors and the therapists and the psychiatrists for years and years. I'd read a ton of different parenting books, Magic 1, 2, 3, Kids Are Worth It, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, Listen So Kids Will Talk, Love and Logic. There's The Explosive Child out there. I mean, you name it, I read it because I hunger for knowledge. I did it when I was a child, not at school anyway, but now that I'm an adult, I hunger for knowledge because I have learned that wherever there is a problem, there is an equal solution. There is one. You might need to look a little bit. You might need to come out of the box a little bit, but there is a solution to every single problem. And in fact, we met with the mayor the other day and we were bringing her a solution. And she is so used to people going to speak to her about the problems. And she said, you know, I've decided, and I tell people this, that I'm not going to focus on your problem unless you come to me with a solution for it too, right? Because we can tend to complain a lot. So I'm really excited for tonight. And here's a few questions. If you grab your pad of paper and a pen, you can write down a few questions that I want you to think about as we go through this script. I want you to do some tally marks as we go. Write down how many times you noticed a dictation. How many times do you notice a dictation in the script that Thomas and I are about to role play for you? So we're going to role play through this script, and then we're going to come back through and we're going to analyze how you can turn things around to get your kids to actually go, okay, mama, I'll get right on it. It actually happens. We have families that are doing it right now. How many dictations? How many sarcastic comments from mom? So how many sarcastic comments, and how much on a scale of 1 to 10 is mom showing interest in her child's desires as if she's like a human being and not just an object? I believe it was last week. I was like, well, if we think the kids will just listen as we dictate, like they're an object or a pet or something like that, like they don't have a mind or thoughts or desires or purpose or anything like that, right? Okay, so how many dictations, how many sarcastic comments, and how much On a scale of 1 to 10, does mom show interest in the desire of her child? I'm excited, Tom. I'm going to be mom first, and I'm going to read through the script, and then Tom's going to be mom.
Oh, maybe we do an exercise. This is always kind of fun. Maybe some of you might know this already intuitively. Some of you might actually know it through study, or we're going to bring it up to your awareness first and foremost. So the very first question that Bonnie was saying was talking about how many dictations did we hear, right? So we got this really great technique that all of us have to use, and it's called our reticular activation system, right? It's what you choose to set it on, it will actually see. So what we'll do is we'll actually do the same thing to make sure everybody has a system that's working. Everybody has it. We're just going to turn it on so you can activate it. So here is a really great example. I have this envelope that I've had for the last probably 15 years. It's a little bit beaten, but it works. So if you look at the FedEx logo, we've been trained when we start to read to look at the letters, right? Sound it out. How many of you can see the arrow? Oh, maybe someone's typing in. Okay, yes. All right, so Eric's quick on the buzzer. So let's go ahead and activate our reticular activation system, because you either don't see it yet or it may not even exist.
Oh my gosh, can I say something? The very first argument that Thomas and I ever had, and we hadn't actually hung out physically yet, except for the very first night that we met, but we talked on the phone a lot. And so the very first argument we ever had over the telephone was because of this FedEx arrow, because I could not see it and he would not tell me where it was. I was stomping my feet. Just give me the answer, but he wouldn't.
Isn't it amazing?
So they all see it.
Age, well, we have a no. We have a no. But she stomped her feet. That's how she used to get everything until we updated her cry. This is key, right? It's updating our temper tantrums to missing life skills. All right, another subject. All right, so here you go, Kimberly. This is for you. Ready? Here we go. What I'd like you to do is focus on the absent space. This is one of the intelligence, right, for artists. Absent space. Look between the space of the large E and the little X. Ready, Kimberly? Go. Look between the large E and the little X. Look at the space in between. And let me know when you see it. All right. Oh, look at that. There it is. Yeah. Thumbs up. Yes, with lots of S's. This is one of the neatest gifts that we could ever give to ourselves and then pass on to our kids, because whatever it's set on, you'll always find. So if you're looking for the negative, it will pick it up. If you're looking for the goal, the child's goal, it will pick it up. It's massive. So with this being said, you're going to be listening for what 3 things? Let's recap.
Everything you watch, everything you read, everything you hear, everything you lived, all prepared you for this moment in time and helped you develop neural pathways, or helped you not develop neural pathways, right? To see the solution when it actually appears. When we go through the script, I want you to focus on these 3 things. How many dictations do you notice? Number 1. How many sarcastic comments from the mom? Number 2. And how much does mom show interest in the desire of her child, period? How much does mom show interest in the desire of her child? All right, we're going to go through this script because I believe that when we come back through and we dissect it, that it's going to take some time, all right, to do that, because this is going to take about 3 minutes, right? We're going to not just tell you, but we're going to show you. So this is a typical house in North America, and probably very similar all over the world, because we have clients all over the world. So the sun starts, the scene opens, and you're the sun.
Yep.
So the sun starts.
This is almost like anybody do any acting, right? They've got their script and they're going through their lines. This is going to be kind of fun. This is how they do it. All right, ready?
Yep.
Here's the sun. Now, just to set the scene, they're in the kitchen and mom is packing because they're planning a trip. It's wintertime. And so the son is starting to ask questions, right? Because he's thinking about himself. Here we go. Mom, is there going to be a TV there? Tonight's the Wild Wild West show.
Oh, you guys will miss school and you're getting to go skiing. I think the Wild West is very low on that list. Now, put your bowl in the sink and go get dressed. Henry will be home in an hour. I want to beat the traffic. The son leaves, but he doesn't say anything. He just leaves.
Yeah, the kid just leaves. No comment.
And then the mom says again to the daughter, she says, try these. These are the biggest ones. And she tosses her some ski boots.
I don't want to wear someone else's shoes, especially ski boots. You know that they are all sweaty. Oh my gosh. Ew. As she throws them back.
Try them on.
Eleanor has smaller feet than me now, and I'm not going to ski anyways.
You think you're just going to sit in the lodge and read a book? Forget it.
I would rather have gone to school and come home and found you all gone.
Is it your plan to ruin our trip?
Well, I'm old enough that I can stay home alone while you go laugh your heads off.
Fine, I'll leave you locked in a trunk.
Well, just let me go to my daddy's.
They ever take you on vacation?
Well, Megan and Daddy took me to Disneyland where it's warm.
Yeah. You want to spend the weekend there with her because she lets you do whatever you want?
Well, she lets me eat whatever I want.
Awesome. So now, dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun,
we'll
dun.
see how close people were actually paying attention and how engaged you are. Stop touching the table. Okay. Oh, that was a dictation.
Yes,
Tom,
it was.
if you'd like to have a clear video that people will enjoy watching, you'll keep your hand off the... Where's the best place for your hand? See, I'm still learning. I'm still learning to speak kid. All right, guys. How many dictations did you hear? How many sarcastic comments? And how much did mom show interest in her child or even her son's goals? Well, he wanted to watch TV at the very beginning of the script. Who wants to give me some answers? Who kept track? This is interactive. Let's have some fun. This is learning. We are learning to speak kid. Creating champions for life. We can tell it to you in 2 minutes. Guide your child's behavior with what's important to them. There you go. That's creating champions for life in an essence. But can you actually put it to practice? And this is awareness that we're creating, just like the FedEx arrow. Adina says 3 dictations, 0 showing interest, and 5 sarcastic replies. Eric said 4 dictations, 7 sarcastic comments. I give her a 1. Sarcastic comments, at least 2. Thank you, Gabriella. All right. Interest from mom, none. And how many people see that this scenario right here is very common language for parents and teachers to use? And even if it's not you, right? Even if it's not you, how often do you see parents talking to their kids like this? How often are we walking through Walmart, the kid's going, mommy, 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 50 times. Mom completely ignores the kid. And then when she goes to respond, it's a bark. Stop it. Sit down. I'm shopping. I'm on the phone or whatever, right? How often are we actually seeing this? And it was so familiar to me that I was like, oh, this will be so much fun. Let's write out that script and let's break it down. Okay. We are all seeing mom's not interested in the child's goal at all. And so we're going to break this down a little bit. Totally normal. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, totally normal. And now the mother wants to send the daughter to therapy because she's being so bratty and so rebellious. But really, mom has all the power here to turn things around. That's how I used to speak to my kids all the time. Now it's 25%.
Yep, this one's D. Okay, 3 dictations, 5 sarcastic comments, one for genuine interest, okay? 5 dictations, 3 sarcastic. This comes from Brittany. 0 interest, all right. Okay, oh, Jeff, you got yours in. Great job. 4 dictations, 6 sarcastics, and no interest in children. All right. And Dina, it is how I used to speak to my kids all the time. And now it's about 25% of the time. Still learning. You know what? right here. Round of applause. Way to go. That's right. Admit where we're at, and we're always growing. Will you ever get perfect? No, perfect is an illusion. But if you're headed in the right direction, repetition, 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 the law of +1 activates and you start to grow. You get better. That's the beautiful thing about what we're doing. I have read all your info and I was in the flow, and now I have reverted back a bit. But this is the refresh I need. Yeah, we call that waffling. Yeah, you breathe in, you breathe out. You know, what's really neat, Kimberly, is you're doing exactly the natural rhythm in the natural law. Like when the tide comes in, there's this little wave. It just keeps coming a little bit each time, right? Going forward and retrace, going forward and retrace. But each time the tide eventually comes in. But if you watch it, you'll never see it come in. But if you look away for a half hour and you look back, you're like, wow, look how much it went. You'll see yourself grow in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. Very good observation, Kimberly. And I'm glad you brought that up, because many people are setting a RAS filter to that too now. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. I tallied up 9 dictational statements and 5 sarcastic tones or statements, I guess, again.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go through this. All right. First of all, if you've been watching any of our videos, when the son says, "Is there a TV there? Tonight's Wild Wild West." What is that for the child? What is it for you as a parent? You could share, how does the little guy feel about the TV and the Wild Wild West show? Is he excited or kind of bummed about it? What is happening there? Desire, a goal. Awesome. Yes, that's called a goal. And you see, when we desire something, when your child desires something, we can tend to feel like it's our responsibility to give it to them or not give it to them. And sometimes we know that we can't just give it to them because you had asked them to maybe do their homework or whatever, but you still kind of feel this inner pull. And that's 85 years of being conditioned through generational parenting. And I actually want to say a gazillion years, right? Because parenting has always been very negative, because back in the caveman days, it was always, listen, or I'm going to beat you, give me your food or I'll beat you up. There was no romance in relationships, right? All through the time, it's been the very same thing. But we know now, because we're learning to speak kid, we're learning to speak their language, we're learning about the positive side of the spectrum, that the desire is the fuel in their tank to get them to actually engage with what it is that's important to you, mom or nanny or teacher.
First and foremost, let's just jump right in. The child asks, he's like, okay, well, we're going somewhere, but the child always thinks of themselves. Is there going to be a TV there? Tonight's the Wild Wild West. And the mom, right? This is that little humor right over their head. Yeah. Was thinking about themselves. They got a lot of stuff to do and they missed a critical window. That is the child's blank. And you nailed it. It's the goal. It's a want. It's a need or a desire. Whatever you want. That's like, oh my gosh, tonight's Wild Wild West. How many times can you remember? I think it was Charlie Brown being able to watch Snoopy. I can remember growing up when the Dukes of Hazzard was on every Friday, right? And you would see these shows. So you're right. That is their goal. And the mom completely missed. The very first thing was to validate. Oh, that's right. That is your show. Something. She went right past it and almost went right into no mode automatically. And how did the child feel?
And here's the other thing that mom was doing. Like, hey, you get to miss school. We're taking you skiing. Look at all this stuff that I do for you. And this is the thanks I'm going to get from you. You just want to watch TV. So there's that aspect as well, because the kids did not, number one, ask to go skiing for the weekend. They did not ask to be removed from school. And really all he wants to do is watch the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. What would you call that? Now you can type in and jump in, but we all know that it's the next one from a dictation. It's called a bribe. She bribed them. Look, you're not going to be able to go to school. You're going to be able to go ski. You're going to be able to miss. And it's like, okay, there really was no connection. So we saw a dictation, like we missed their child's goal, and then we followed it up with a bribe, and we wonder why things are off the mark.
Yeah. And so you guys will miss school and you get to go skiing is a dictation. Okay. This is so ingrained within our subconscious minds. We don't even know that that's a dictation, but it's a dictation because you're telling them how it is. You guys are going to miss school. You get to go skiing. I think the Wild West is very low on the list. That would be another dictation. It's like every sentence out of her mouth is a dictation. Now put your bowl in the sink, another one, and go get dressed is another dictation. There's no proactive plan in place. It's mom dictates, kids have to listen to her requests or else they're deemed defiant and welcome to the world that we're living in. All right.
Huge moment. So as we are looking at this, Bonnie nailed it. It was the low list. It's really low on your list. That was a dictation. He's already putting value of what the kids' goals are. But more importantly than that, when the mother was done, the child just got up and put his dish away and then went and got packed. How many times have you heard somebody say, well, all kids are different. You know, my oldest one was just a piece of cake. I would dictate, and well, they didn't say dictate, they just said anything I wanted, he would just do and comply. But it's my younger one, boy, does she got a little mouth on her. Boy, she's just this, and this. So the key thing is that the child has never had a chance to actually think from the dictations. It delays thinking. The younger, in this case, the daughter's the older one, she is exercising. This is so key. I'll repeat it twice for the note takers. The daughter is exercising her rite of passage to independence.
Yes.
The older daughter is activating her right to independence. And the mother, not knowing or seeing this, is falling into the rookie trap of, oh, there's something wrong with her. She's being, and then they label it, oppositionally defiant. When really, she's exercising her independence.
Yeah. Massive
window, aha, FedEx arrows.
So then the mom says, try these. They're the biggest one. So I'm going to say that's at least one dictation. Just try these. They're the biggest one, which also they're the biggest one is also a dictation, because if you had all the boots laid out and you said which ones are the biggest ones, then the daughter would have a chance to think, because it's really, is it our job to just control every move they make, keep them safe, keep them fed, keep them clothed till they're 18? Or is our job as parents to actually prepare them for how the world really works? Really, we should be preparing them for the world before they even go to kindergarten. They should know how to share already. They should know how to use their words. They should know how to ask for things. They should have some emotional quotient already developed before they get sent to school. I remember reading an article from 1885, and it said that the children must have this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill under their belt. And responsibility was included. Printing was included. Like, they should be able to print. They should be able to count. They should be able to do all these things before we even send them to school. And then now in today's society, really, I didn't teach my kids anything before they went to school. I had no idea how to do that. I just did everything for them, did exactly what this mom's doing. So try these. They are the biggest ones.
Yep, that was a dictation.
That's a dictation. So then the daughter responds.
Well, before we come to the daughter, instead of dictating, how many of us know what promotes thinking, right? What actually accelerates? Because if dictation suppresses and delays thinking, right? So if we ever have any children out there with a learning disability, they've been inundated with dictation. Aha moment, FedEx arrow, if we begin to see it. Don't take it personal. Just play the innocent card. I didn't know, but now we do. It's asking questions. So the smarter mom would start to actually say, and let me see the quote there. It was, yeah, try these on. They're the biggest ones. Would you like to try these on before we get there? Or would you think of another alternative? You phrase anything into a question. The best thing about it is you can't mess this part up. Any question that is framing towards the interest of the child's goal is the right direction. And of course you'll mess things up at first. That's the beauty. But dictating, negative. Asking the question is heading in the right direction.
That's awesome. And also something else to note is that when we parent with dictation, and then you ever want your child to take initiative or anything like that, they will not have the neural pathways to be creative. They will have no creative imagination left. And so they'll just be like, can't you just tell me what to do? They'll be 13. Can't you just tell me what to do? 21. Can't you just tell me what to do? 35. No, not even kidding. I know people right now that are over 40, close to 50, like several people living in their parents' basement still, and the parents can't figure out why they're not moving out. And it's because they don't have the life skills to actually be independent. They don't have the life skills to take initiative. They don't have the faith to chase their dreams or go after their goals. And so this is absolutely imperative. You want to be able to talk to your kids and get them to do what you need them to do without even being asked. Like, or, the first time that you ask, at least, we actually get them to do it without even being asked. But if you like to do it or like them to listen the first time that you ask, what we're talking about here, it all ties together with that, because the cooperation works when you cooperate with each other. How much does that make sense? So we look at cooperation in a family unit, like, are the kids listening to the parents? Are they cooperating? But is the leadership in the home attracting and creating cooperation?
And look at this. Let's do a little recognition, right? When you recognize something, you reward it, it's often repeated. This is key, both ways, ebb and flow. I see Eric here asking questions. That's absolutely correct. Right? Brittany asking questions. You nailed it. Jeff, I love it. Which boots fit? Aha, man. Yes. Let me tell you, bro, you're starting to get her. I love it. That's exactly right. Which boots fit, right? I love it.
Okay, I'll just read it.
Yeah.
The daughter says, I don't want to wear someone else's shoes, especially ski boots. You know that they're sweaty, stiff. Ew, oh my God. Mom gets mad and yells, just try them on.
Absolutely. So really, whose goal is being dictated, right? There's the sarcasm. This is so powerful. Try them on. And then she's already kind of pleading her case. Well, Eleanor's has smaller feet than me now, and I'm not going to be going skiing anyways. Hint number 2 and 3 to the mom.
Yeah.
How many hints can we reflect now with the FedEx arrow setting our RAS to going, oh my gosh, I don't even listen. Now, isn't this ironic? How do you get your kids to listen the first time you ask? It's called follow the leader. Monkey see, monkey do. If we are not even listening to them, why would they even choose to listen to you when they're following your lead and they're playing the game monkey see, monkey do? Oh my gosh, was that a FedEx moment? Right? We hear about terrible twos. When was that actually introduced again, Bonnie?
In the middle of the 1950s.
The 50s.
Yeah.
So the ratio is 400 to 1 that a baby before age 2 hears the word no to the word yes. Dictate versus guiding. Oh my gosh, if your child yells no back to you, they're working perfectly. Except for our innocence or ignorance. It was like, well, that's the, and then we go into the blame. But if we knew what we knew, why would we ever do it in the first place? Wow. Once again, if you take it personal, you'll definitely miss the learning opportunity and the point.
Yeah, that is so cool. Okay, so that brings me to my next point. When a child says, why? Or why should I? Right? I shared a post in the group earlier, and the kid's hair is like all like this. And I don't even think his kid's Tommy Boy or something. And his hair is like all sticking up. And the meme's like the mom's asking him to brush his hair, and the kid's going, why?
Why?
Why? And it's kind of funny, but it brings a great point that your child is a little spirit living in a little physical body, and they have exactly the same faculties that move them through life as we do. They have desires for things. They want to have purpose. Look what I can do. But when there's no why to brushing the hair, no why to putting on the boots when mom asks, meaning if they don't have a goal or something that they're working towards or striving for, right, when they ask, why should I? They're not kidding. Like, they need a why, because really to a 6-year-old going to school with their hair sticking straight up, they don't care about that. You do. You want them to brush their hair. It's important to you, but why? Why should I? That is imperative to think about. What is your child working for? Why should they?
AKA a want, need, or desire. They're really asking you, like, show me how it works. AKA a parent's plan, right? Follow the leader. Right. Let's jump down to the next one here. Where are we at?
Okay. So mom says, you think you're going to just sit in the lounge and read a book? Forget it.
All right. So let's just fast track this a little bit. All right. Here's the mother, right? Let's just say she stumbled across this Raising Healthy, Happy, Cooperative Kids book and kind of learned about guiding. Well, I do understand that I am dictating and really didn't ask you about what we're doing, and I'm understanding that. But if we were there and wearing these boots and skiing is really not of an interest, what would you like to do while this is happening? Right? What would you like to do? Asking an open-ended question. Because right now she asked a question. So this is what's really cool. She asked a question with zero pause for a response. So really, it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, yeah, right? A false prophet, if you would like that term. You think you're going to sit in the lodge and read a book? Forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, sometimes when people start, they're so far into double negatives, you're like, well, what do you want to do? Grow up and be a dummy?
Right.
Okay, well, we're doing better. We're thinking, right? It's a start, baby step, took a first step, then fell. So then the daughter was, I'd rather have gone to school and come home and found you all gone. There's another hint that something's off the mark.
Yeah.
And then remember, you'll hear from time to time, it's that Horton Hears a Who movie from Dr. Seuss. We are here, we are here, we are here. The daughter is screaming in the loudest way she can. In this way, it's echoing back the sarcasm of dictation.
Yeah.
Very key.
This is going to a whole new subject here when the mom says, is this your plan to ruin our trip?
Yes, yeah, all along. I've been planning this since I was 2.
Well, so the awareness here is that your 11-year-old daughter does not see the world the same way that you do. Is it your plan to ruin our trip? Because that's what mom would see. But that's not the daughter just wants to read a book.
Right.
Or go to dad's.
The principle or the belief creating champions for life is that we have a kid's brain and an adult brain. We believe strongly, like 100%, that the adult brain actually has the choice to go back to relate when I was 5 or 10. But it would just be silly or not even possible for a 5 or a 10-year-old to fast forward to an adult brain who's actually bared offspring and actually can relate. Huge.
Yeah.
But yet we taught him 100 times, so he should already know.
Right.
And that right there is another FedEx moment.
Yeah.
What does that really mean? is it your plan to ruin our ski trip? Really? Only an adult brain would think like that.
That's right.
The child does not go to bed thinking, what can I do to really upset mom? Right? That's what's key. We think they do. They're just, as the daughter in this show was now exercising her right and practicing her independence. Because at the end of the day, we do everything for them when they're babies, and their job is to leave doing it all on their own. And we have all the time in the middle to transfer these life skills.
I just wanted to say that a manipulative adult brain would see, what, are you trying to ruin our trip? See, because people see the world, who they are on the inside. And so this might speak to you. It's like, are you a glass half full or glass half empty kind of person? When you see something, when you stub your toe in the morning, do you say, thank God I got a toe? Or does it wreck your day with like, ow, my toe hurts, I stubbed it, and it wrecks your whole day? Every moment of every day, we have a choice to make. What are we going to focus on? That RAS filter that Thomas was just talking about. Are we going to focus on the glass half full, glass half empty? Are we going to focus on our child's champion self? Or are we going to keep watering the weeds? And that's what we do, is we water the weeds, because it's so much more noticeable. Like one time I did a training and I didn't brush my hair, and Marta called me on it. But she doesn't like message me after every training and go, wow, you looked really great last night. Right? She'll notice when my hair is not brushed, like, hello, brush your hair before a video. Okay. So that's my point. If you go to visit somebody's house and it's messy, you'll probably go, oh my gosh, the house just smelled bad. But you don't go to someone's clean house and go, wow, the house was so clean. It smelled clean. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so much easier to get caught up in the negative spectrum than it is to consciously choose the positive one. And that's what we're doing right now. Are we choosing the negative or the positive? When we put our glasses on and we perceive our children or our world, are we perceiving it like, you're going to hurt me, you're going to manipulate me, you're going to wreck my trip? That means that we need to look in the mirror and have a little checkup from the neck up, because this is really imperative stuff. How can you like pass on to your kids what you don't have yourself? A solution oriented, goal driven, right? Solution driven mind. And that's what we're doing here. A byproduct of raising kids with Creating Champions for Life is all of that. It's just amazing. It's like a side effect of love. Isn't the parent supposed to have the plan? Yeah, the parent's supposed to have the plan, Eric, but back in 1960s, actually in 2019, the only parents that have a plan are Creating Champions for Life parents. So we're gonna come up with a plan. Before we close out in the next 15 minutes, we are going to just go through this with flow, right? We're gonna validate, we're gonna guide with love, we're gonna ask questions, we're gonna realize the child doesn't see the world the same way the grown-up does. All 12 principles of Creating Champions for Life goes into every segment when working with a child. And that's why sometimes if you're just studying like the first couple modules, you're not going to see the end result, because we're not using all 12 principles yet. But as you continue to learn and continue to study and continue to practice new habits, the side effect is joy, love, peace, happiness, and harmony. Now she's just going, fine, I'll leave you in a locked trunk. Like she's threatening her with locking her in a trunk.
Let me look here. We got, yes, it's reprogramming my own manipulative adult brain. Absolutely. Like wherever we learned it.
Yeah.
Right? We can go back and go, well, I learned that from my uncle. I learned it from my dad. I learned that from my teacher. I learned it somewhere, right? Because you weren't born with it. It was conditioned to you, right? You learned it somewhere. But here's the freedom. Here's the one that allows you to be free from it, is you ask yourself, is this thinking, is this mindset serving me now? Right? Oh, I just see the arrow. I just now get to play the innocent card. I didn't know. Is it serving you now? And if it's not, then you can choose to let it go and replace it. That's with repetition. It does take time to go from an old habit of sleeping in to then setting the alarm to get you up like training wheels And over time, you'll just wake up even before the alarm clock. That's the cycle of reprogramming. Great insight, Dina. Yeah, and you know what? You keep on keeping on there, and you too will be going from what we called Suckville to Coolville.
Yeah. I wanted to just say this, that I personally, like if you know my story, you know that I've been studying personal development for almost 25 years. It took me nearly 10 years into my journey to just believe in myself enough to start succeeding. And I wake up every single morning. The first thing that I do is hit play on some sort of inspirational, motivational audio on YouTube that reminds me who I am. Right? That reminds me of what I'm fighting for. That reminds me to keep my focus on my goals. That reminds me to continue to take action, because there's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of adversities when you're trying to reinvent parenting on the globe. I don't know if you can imagine, but there have been a lot of days where you don't think things are going your way. And so it's easy to get kicked off track. And so I just wanted to say that, because no matter who you are, or no matter how successful you are, no matter how positive you are, we need to be reminded every single day about that potential and about, you know, what we're creating, because you are creating your life based on what you're focused on. And then the rest of it is just manipulation. Like, oh, you like going over there? Oh, there was one point at the end where mom says, oh, you want to spend the weekend there with her because she lets you do whatever you want? And then the daughter says, well, she lets me eat whatever I want. And you wanted to comment on that.
I'd like to wrap that one up. Coming home, it's kind of like in baseball. Rounding third and heading home.
Yep.
This is what's really, really awesome about this. I'm going to repeat it one more time for those that are my note takers out there, right? Curious is just listening. Serious is writing it down. And then we've got one more level after that, but we'll just talk about that for now. You want to spend the weekend there with her because she lets you do whatever you want? Now, this mom is doing it in that very authoritative, right? That very dictational, right? Do as I say, don't do as I do. Do it or else, right? She has the right idea, the right concept to instill a discipline with the child, right? That life skill, but it's the approach is off. It's not guiding, right? That's why it doesn't quite connect. Now she says, now this is what's clear if you hear it. She lets me eat whatever I want. Now this would be the stepmom on the other side that does let her eat whatever wants, because she sees it intuitively, maybe not intellectually, that the child has a goal. And she knows that she's providing, and does she really care what it is that she's eating? Because she knows that all the options, which is our seventh principle, parents make decisions, kids make choices. She can eat whatever she wants in that same range, and she's beginning to actually see the child's want, needs, and desires. Do you see the difference? The stepmom sees that she's exercising her goal and she's actually enforcing it, where the other one was suppressing it, right? The stepmom was guiding, which develops the growth. The punishment suppresses the growth. Very key. It's subtle, but has a huge impact. And there you go. Top to bottom. Great job. Stick and stay, plug and play. Just keep doing something every day. I love it.
He likes to travel off and rhyme every once in a while. It's hilarious. All right, so now we're going to go back through the script. I'm going to be the kid. Tom's going to be the mom. And this is how a conversation should be flowing when you learn to speak kid with Creating Champions for Life. Okay. Oh, and Kimberly, I see you live in Comox Valley. We actually are in Salmo, BC right now, so we're not that far away. But we are only a telephone call away. We actually work with clients all over the world, right through the computer or through our telephone. So that's an option, okay? We can work together. So I get to be the little kid. Is there a TV there? Tonight's Wild Wild West.
Ooh. Well, I'm not sure there's going to be a TV there, But tell me about this Wild Wild West, Timmy.
Oh, it's my favorite show. And they shoot bang, 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 bang. And they have horses. And it's just a lot of fun for me to watch.
I wonder if there was something we could do about that. Any thoughts?
Is there a TV there?
Well, when we get there, that should be maybe first on our list or second on our list for getting into our room.
Yeah, later. Just later. I'll talk to you about it later then, okay?
You know, the idea is just guiding. It's just being able to find out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's part of the interest for them. And automatically the whole dynamic totally shifts.
What would happen next? Because now you didn't say no. You kind of validated me. I'm still excited about Wild Wild West. So I can go off and I can pack thinking about my TV show because it wasn't shot down. And then next, the little girl sitting at the table, mom obviously wants her to pack, wants her to try on these ski boots. So how would you get her to try these ski boots on? Because that hasn't happened yet.
Right. All right. So this one here is, she says, try these on. They're the biggest ones. First off is, have you ever skied, right? This is going to be your first time skiing. What do you know you need to have in order to go skiing if you wanted to?
I don't know, skis.
Yeah. And what part to the skis, how do they attach to your feet?
Boots.
Right. Now, I have a pair of boots here from, and I'm going to look at the name. It was Aunt Eleanor. Now, you know, and I know that because she already knows she's picky, that she throw this in, is that most boots do smell stinky because they used to wear them. However, I know a trick to make that go away. Would you like to know what it is before you give them a go?
Well, I don't really want to ski anyways.
Well, that's understandable. Is it going? She's already the mom. Think of the stepmom. She already knows that she hasn't, right? So if skiing was one of the options, what would be the other two options to pick from?
I could read, I could watch TV, or you could just let me stay at dad's.
Ah, look at the smart brain on you. I love how you think of turning obstacles into opportunities. Good job.
The flow is so different than the script that we wrote anyways. Oh, that's hilarious.
It would be impossible to follow this script.
There is no like there's nothing for me to fight about or stomp away on. Yeah, do you have any questions, observations, comments based on, you know, what we're doing here tonight? I think we did bring a lot of awareness to dictation. This was kind of fun. You're going to rewrite the script.
Oh,
yes, we
go,
rewrite
Eric.
the script.
Yeah, that's not a man. I love
Congratulations. I love that you're all here. So the whole point is to get on the same side as your child, like get on the same team.
Visual.
Right? Work together. If you have it in your RAS filter to work together as a team, then your child will learn from you. They're going to develop that from you. So I don't know how well you guys can hear through the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's give it the quick visual, right?
Yeah.
This right here, this particular stance, this is like dictation, right? It's almost like a match. You're on team A, I'm on team B. And we're in opposition. We're in opposition. And of course, the parents are going to stronghold, right? Because you got the strength, you've got the voice, you got all the cards, right? There's a lot of that dictation. However, when you begin to see the child has a goal and they're a little spirit in development to be a independent, bigger person. The subtlety with creating champions for life, because it's the only double positive method that's out there and we're leading the way. That's why it's counterintuitive to almost anything that's out there. However, when you start to do the guiding with the creating champions for life, it physically, go ahead and rotate forward, right? It physically brings, I'm the parent, she is the child. It brings me into the same way, so I'm beginning to see through whose eyes? And if the first thing that popped into your head was the child's eyes, and the child will begin to see me as a teammate,
an ally,
or the opposite opponent.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge game changer. Like, oh, you're kind of on my side. It's going to freak your kids out at first because they're like, what are you up to? Right? Because you've never done it before, or it's starting to do it more in a more guiding way. This was punishment. This was guiding. Huge.
Right.
Huge.
That's so awesome. Eric talked a little bit earlier because this is just role playing a script and how we can turn it into become more positive. But Eric, you're so right, because in creating champions for life, everything's done proactively. So you would never walk into the table and go, here, try these on. You're missing school. We're going on a ski trip for the weekend. It would be planned in advance. The kids would know about it. The parent, you would know, oh, my son likes to watch Wild Wild West. My daughter likes to read books. Okay, guys, if we're all packed up on time at the door, ready to go, then that can unlock the Pandora box of the Wild Wild West. You want to watch 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or the whole show? Oh, I want to watch the whole show. And I'm telling you what, you have all the arsenal for 100%. Yes, ma'am, get right on it. Right with the TV show, right with the video game. Right with the garlic bread with supper. Now that doesn't mean don't give them supper. That means give them supper, but do they get the garlic bread and the pop and the cheese and everything else if they're not cooperating with you? When your children get to know this, set a goal, put it in writing, create a plan to achieve the goal, write your plan out so that anyone could understand it, right? Read it, focus on it every single day. That was the success plan that I used to get to the top of my game in business. And when I met Tom, it was the exact same plan that he used to get kids to cooperate. And that's when I said, oh my gosh, every parent in the world needs to know about this. It's called a goal. You want your child to listen to you the first time you ask? That is called a goal. Your plan to achieve that goal is to study and learn to speak kid. Work with us. Send me an email, Bonnie@creatingchampionsforlife.com. Like, get serious about this. We get results 100% of the time when you learn to follow the flow like this. Because it follows every single natural truth to exist in the entire universe. Love plus love equals love. If your child is rolling their eyes at you, opposing you, running away from the table, then that's your mirror going, I hurt that little spirit. That is a reaction from a spirit. The logical mind does not react like that, but the spirit does, because we speak in words, we speak in vibration. You walk into the room, people are fighting, that they're fighting because you can feel it, right? We speak in words, we speak in vibration, we speak in thought, we speak in tone. You got this. You got this. The bright side is just on the other side of the line, on the other side of decision, right? I decide I'm going to be on my child's side, and they're going to earn every single goal that they want in life moving forward. Nice. And that's it. There's no judgment there. There's no bias there. There's no anger there. It's just pure unconditional acceptance and love.
And if we were to step away with one last message for you to do every single day when you wake up, just remember what you're seeing. I'm not just any dad. I'm not just any mom. Wait. There we go. Turn right about there. I'm a Creating Champions for Life mom.
That's right.
Say it loud. Say it proud. Declare it to the world. Make it law. And everything else will just fall right into place.